Morning, guys. Here we are. We're out at Lookout Lake, and this is what I'm going to see. Back in 1932, the United States Army built a base out in the hills just west of Bartlesville, and this is it. This is a photo taken from a biplane. Here you can see the lower wing of the plane and the struts going up, and there's the upper wing. Now, this Army base housed over 200 people from 1932 to 1942. The base was shut down and dismantled at the beginning of World War II. Now if we look here, you can see got all the buildings here, and we're going to go up there and we're going to look around, and we're going to find all these buildings, or what's left of them, and take a look around. I'm going to start over here. Now if you'll notice, the main road runs right up through here. Got a couple of entrances here, all the way up here to the parking area right here. Now this building here, that's the officers' quarters. Got a fireplace and all the amenities. And right back over here, you can just see a little bit, this was a technical building. This main courtyard right here is where everybody would do reveille every morning. There's the flagpole with the flag on it. This building right here was the recreation hall. That's where everybody got together for their entertainment. Back over here, this is the headquarters building, the infirmary, and the supply hut. Back behind there, this is the mess hall, a big T-shaped building with a courtyard out front. And you'll notice there's a group of people sitting right here. And this rock structure right here, we're going to take a look at that today. This building right here is the shower house. That's still partially visible. And these four buildings back here are the barracks. This is where all the men stayed. Back in here is the motor pool. There's garages and tool shops and mechanic shops and everything back in here. And that's where they serviced all the buildings. There's a guard tower right here. You can see the guard tower. Another tower right here, which is enclosed. This may be a water tower, not sure. Tool shed back here. Some kind of area right here that I'm not sure what that is. It has paths going to it, and maybe some kind of sitting area. And if you follow this path right down through here, there's a unique feature. This is an amphitheater carved into the hillside. This is where everybody went and had their USO shows or something here. We're going to check that out today. Now all these buildings are gone, but you can still see there's rock path going to all these buildings. You can all still see all that. This fireplace right here is still standing, and the foundations and walkways, the cement floor of the shower house is still there. Now this is considered a historically sensitive area, so metal detecting is not allowed up here. But back in 2019, I was issued a special use permit that allowed me to metal detect up here, with the stipulation that all artifacts found are to be turned over to the proper authorities, which I did. So today I'll go up there and I'll show you what I found and where I found it. But first, I'm gonna sit here and drink my coffee and get everything ready, get the kayak in the water, and I'll check back with you here in just a little bit. So to take a look at my view that I have for my morning breakfast. Check this out. Smooth as glass. Got my fan going here. It's a little warm in here today. Getting an early start. It's gonna be a hot day. We're about 7:30 in the morning or so. Well, I guess this looks like a good enough place to stop. Got quite a hike from here. Now I can get in here somewhere. I think I'll head right up through there. Okay, so I found the old road that led up to the army base. on the west side of the base. This was the main entrance. Driving up down through here. And on up there, probably a quarter mile or so, is the Army base. I'll show you that when I get there. The place is just all completely overgrown. But the closer you get to the base, the more artifacts you see laying around. Now this place is open to the public, but you're not allowed to remove anything. This is a historically sensitive area. Back in 1932, the United States was going through the Great Depression. And President Roosevelt signed the New Deal, which was a stimulus package designed to get men back to work. So this task was given to the U.S. Army, and they built these bases all over the country, and they housed them with civilian workers. They were called the Civilian Conservation Corps. And they lived at these bases, and they built roads and bridges and state parks. They got paid $7 a month. And I was very proud of the work they did. There's a whole history on the CCC, which you can look up. And it's very interesting. Well, here we are. We're at the base. So this is the entrance that came up here. This was the parking area, the main parking area. And back in 2019, when I was detecting out here, in this area you found keys and coins and lots of stuff, but there's about 2 feet of gravel under this grass. Makes it very difficult to dig. And I really only scanned it a little bit because it was so difficult to dig. Now, there's the parking area. Look at this. See this fireplace? This was the officers' quarters. It ran from the fireplace right here all the way almost out to the road right here. About a 25-foot wide, I'd say 75 to 100 feet long. I bet there's a lot of good times had around this fireplace. Now, right at the edge of the fireplace here was the front door, or side door. And all this out through here was the main courtyard, the reveille area. Now, I want to go over here. And right in here, you can see all these rocks. This is that area in the picture, some kind of gathering area. And it looks like there was a flagpole here, but not the main flagpole because it was over by the recreation center. So, I'm standing out here. Now, if you remember the picture taken from the biplane, that plane would have been right straight above my head, probably 200 or 300 feet when they took the picture. Now there's not a whole lot you can see without digging, so let's go do some digging. Not digging, but looking around. So back over here. Now back over here was called the technical building. I don't know exactly what they meant by that, but there's lots of electrical parts and stuff over here, so I think that's where the maintenance personnel was based out of. Now I'm going to go over here. Okay, so now I'm standing right about where these two fellas in this picture are standing. We're facing the officers' quarters over there. You can see the chimney right behind those trees there. And these two fellas look like they're having a good old time. So let me walk back over to the officers' quarters for a minute. And I want to show you something. Now remember, back in 2019, I was allowed to detect out here. And right in here is where I found some really cool things. Now underneath this debris here, you can still see the rock pathways that they built that went out to each building. If you come up here in the winter time, you can see things a lot better. And I want to show you, here's the rockway, and there was a little kind of a garden area right here, a circle walkway with some plants and stuff in the middle. And right down here, there's the walkway, the rocks that go to the walkway. Right between these rocks right here, I found a 1924 silver dollar. One of a bunch of coins that I found out here. And then, right back over here, you can see the circle garden area right here. And right back in here, at the base of this tree right down there, I found an Army insignia medal from the 312th Cavalry Division. There's a lot of history on that too, which I'll have to go into in another time. Now the officers' quarters had a pathway that ran out behind the building and back down this way over to the shower house. You can see the walkway down here. Let's make our way over to the shower house now. And believe me, this is an awful small shower house for 200 plus people. You see the walkway running down here. Now that went over to the mess hall. We'll go over there in a minute. This was the shower house. You can see it's all sloped in, so everything drains down to the drains in the middle here. This was the entrance to the showers. You can see how it's built up here so the water don't run out. So there was a shower. This area here was something. Here's another area. Possibly more showers or something. A washroom or something. It sloped down with a drain in the middle. And then here's another big area. Maybe a locker room or something of this kind. And as far as I can tell, the entrance was right here. And right out here, out in this area, I found lots of U.S. Army buttons, shirt buttons. So evidently this is where they did a lot of their laundry. Probably hanging it up to dry out here, washing on a wash tub, knocking the buttons off their shirts. They're scattered everywhere out here. So let's go back over here. We're going to follow the path down through here. You can see the walkway. And we come across this structure right here. For a long time I couldn't figure out what the purpose of this was. You can see concrete and rock with steps going up. And something was mounted up here. You got a bolt coming out of it. And back in 2019, when I detected the area, I discovered a water line running right up through the middle. And being as how it's in front of the mess hall, which is right here, that was a big T-shaped building right here. That's the mess hall. And I'll bet you this was a wash basin where people could come and wash up before going into the mess hall. That's just a theory, but that's what it looks like with the water line running to it. I don't know what the steps are all about and what was up there, but that's my theory. Now here off to the right, heading up that way. Let's go ahead and go that way. Now the mess hall is right over here. This is the main courtyard, the reveille area. Now I'm going up to the headquarters building. This was the headquarters, the infirmary, and the supply shack. Which it ran parallel end to end with the officers' quarters over there. An identical building running this way. Here's the walkway that was leading up to it between the officers' quarters and the headquarters. Here's what's left of the steps going up into the headquarters building. And this right over here almost looks like a charcoal grill, a smoker. I'm not sure, but you can see they built up a round circle fireplace of some kind here. Now we're walking through the headquarters building, which ran all the way back here. And ended with a cellar. Right out of the back of the building was a storm cellar of some kind. A storm cellar, a root cellar, a storage cellar. But I'm almost thinking this may have been a makeshift swimming pool, because it's not very deep to be a cellar. I mean, you couldn't even stand up in there when it was covered. And it's got this deck, this rock deck, that runs all the way around it. And another charcoal grill, I think. Or it may have been a heater, a water heater, that heated the water for the pool. Another theory, not sure, but that's almost what it looks like to me. Now before we get too far back that way, I want to come over here and show you the amphitheater. Pretty cool. Let's go take a look. So this is the amphitheater. It's pretty worn away now, but if you look at the picture, they carved these seats, these bench seats, out of the rock here, and it was a lot more well defined in the 1932 biplane photo. But you can see it's a big round amphitheater here. Imagine all the guys sitting around here playing music down there, entertaining each other. Probably even had some outside entertainment come in. And I never detected down here, but I bet you down there you can find lots of good artifacts. There's probably some partying going on here. You can still see the chisel marks where they dug out the steps. They chiseled all these seats out. They probably had a stage out there, some kind of stage. And it went from here all the way around to the other side there. Now let's go back up to the camp. Now if you want to do some research on the area, this was called CCC Camp 895. Now there's a lot of history in the place and a lot of pretty good information about the CCC. Okay, now we're heading back into the camp. Now right here was the headquarters building, officers' quarters over there. So now let's head over towards the mess hall. Here's some kind of a tank. I'll bet you this was a septic tank or something. I can see an inlet coming in right here and an inlet coming in right here. That's pretty much the design of a typical septic tank. Right back over there was a guard tower. There was another guard tower on the other side. And I bet you they weren't used so much for guarding as they were to keep an eye out for wildfires. A wildfire would blow through here. Could be devastating. So I want to go show you this right here. We're behind the mess hall right here. And this structure right over here was the garbage bins. You can see it's all built up here, probably to help keep the animals out of it. The steps going up the side. And up here, they would have had the garbage bins with lids on them to keep the animals out. Probably a big square bin of some kind with a big lid on it. You know, this is just a solid structure here. There's nothing under it. Garbage bin. Go back over here, back towards the mess hall. Here's another tank of some kind. I'm not sure what this is, but it's fully enclosed with a hole in the side and a hole in the top with all these bolts coming out of it. Not exactly sure what that was, but it's right behind the mess hall. Now the mess hall here, here's the steps going into the end of the mess hall. And right down here, I found a pocket knife with the words written on the side, fishing knife. So evidently these guys spend a lot of their off time fishing. Maybe back here cleaning their fish. Somebody lost their knife. And back over in the barracks area, I found an old fishing reel. So these guys enjoyed fishing. I mean, they're out here in the wilderness. What else are they going to do? So the mess hall ran from here over to the headquarters building in a big T shape. And I'll bet you this is the root cellar for the mess hall. This is their cold storage. You can see here, this building on top. This was the entrance going in. Had a door that covered it. Go down in here. And the wall has collapsed on this side, and it's about to collapse on this side. And I'll bet you there's some good digging down in there too. And this was underneath the mess hall. Okay, so now I'm back in the main courtyard area, and we're going to head over to the rec hall. This is the recreation center. I don't know what kind of recreation they had in there, but I think there was a lot of gambling going on. So let's head back over there. Now the rec hall ran from here out towards the road out there. You can see there's piles of rocks around, foundation stones or whatever. And right here, beside whatever this was, it looks like it's got a step going up. Right down in here, I found a gambling token from the Smokette. Which is probably a saloon down in Bartlesville. And since gambling was illegal at that time, they would give you these gambling tokens that you would play in a slot machine. And if you won, you could use the tokens to buy merchandise at that particular establishment. And you see more foundation stones out here. Big rectangular building. This was the recreation hall. So now let's go take a look at the barracks. There was 4 sets of barracks, but I've also seen a diagram that showed 5 barracks, but the biplane photo only shows 4. Maybe they built another barracks building after the biplane photo was taken, but I can only find signs of 4 barracks. So, up here beside the shower house, there's another walkway running right up through here. And another one on the other side of the shower house that ran to each barracks building. So we're coming out of the shower house here. Right here, a pathway ran down through here, down through here. There was one barracks over there, Another one over there. Another one over there. And another one over there. I found lots of good, interesting artifacts around the barracks buildings. There goes a couple of bucks. Also found a water line running out to the barracks buildings. So evidently they had running water in the buildings. Now we're at the side of the herd. Now, back over here, found a couple of buffalo nickels right over here. Here's the base of another guard tower out at the end of barracks. And back in here, I found lots more buttons and a cologne bottle or a hair tonic bottle or something. There was another barracks right over here. Lots of nice artifacts out in here. Now we're going to make our way over to the motor pool. Back over here was the motor pool area. You can see it's still an old truck sitting in the garage over here. There was a garage, blacksmith shop, tool shop, machine shop, all over here in a U-shaped compound. Way back over in the corner over there was a dynamite storage building. Not a lot left of that for some reason. So I'm going to go back over this way and show you something else down here. Now, as we come over here, as the mountain starts to drop off here, is where we find lots and lots of artifacts. There's a sewer pipe. As you come over here, you'll notice there's a bunch of garbage cans laying over here. This is their garbage dump. One of the most interesting places up here. That's where you get a good idea of their everyday life out here. Now those garbage cans have a significance that I'll show you here in a minute. More garbage cans. More. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what they use these garbage cans for, there's more over here. Right up here, you'll see there's coal scattered all out down through there. A big pile of coal over there. And what they use these garbage cans for was to dump their coal and ashes over here in the garbage dump. And I guess a lot of times they just threw the whole garbage can over the edge. And then you got oil drums. Oil drums, oil drums. There's a chimney pipe. And look at this trough. You know what that was? That's what we called a piss trough. That's a urinal. This was in the latrine. Now, let me go up here. More stuff. Look at this porcelain bowl. Still got a handle on it. Now, if I can remember where I'm at here, there's another area. See, here's the coal. All this coal that's scattered out through here. That's how they heated the place. They burned coal. More oil drums down here. Lots of debris scattered all out through there. Big pile of coal I'm standing on over here. Look at all that coal. All down the side of the hill. That's where they dumped their coal. Another garbage can. Another one over there. And if you look around up here, there's lots of old bottles and beer cans and all kinds of stuff sticking out of the hillside here. And this is an interesting place to look around. You see here's this. Wonder what that was. Jars. Melted lead. Whiskey bottle. If you dig into this hillside, there's all kinds of interesting artifacts here. And this is kind of cool here. If you look at this, there's a square concrete block with a little hook on it here. And I'm not sure exactly what that would have been, but evidently somebody hung a lantern or something up on this block here. So I'm going to go back up, check out the base some more. Here's some more. There's a wash basin, more garbage cans, and jars, and tin cans, all over up and down here. There's a beer bottle. They did lots of drinking up here. Now right here, excuse me, this was a tool shed. Foundation runs out here, out there, over there, over there. In here, I found the Corbin padlock, which had obviously been struck by an axe. Must be a story behind that. Somebody needed to get into the tool shed awful bad. Now, I want to go back over to the main area again. There's stuff just scattered everywhere out here. Every time I come out here, I discover more things. And there's actually a really large camp. So here we are, back in the main area again. I know it's not easy to see, but I encourage everybody to come out and take a walk around and look at the place. A lot of history here. And I encourage everybody to do some research on the place. There's a ton of information about the place and the CCC in general. I think most people that come up here have no idea what this place was. But I think I'm going to make my way back down to the lake and call it a day. I just wanted to show you one of my favorite hiking areas. So let's get out of here. I made it back to the kayak down there. Now I just gotta get down there to it and get back to the truck.